Every newspaper this morning has its eyes on the Senate. Let's begin with the Nigerian Tribune. Senate suspends action on tax reform bills. Summons emergency meeting with Attorney General of the Federation to iron out disputed areas. The story continues on the inside pages. The Nigerian News Direct. Tax reform bill. Senate suspends reading, constitutes ad hoc committee with AGF. Details on page 14. Daily Independence. Tax reform bills. Senate raises committee to meet FG delegation over gray areas. Says it won't allow bills to aggravate country's problems. Suspends public hearing. Other issues related to the bills. The front page of Daily Trust has Senate AGF to review tax reform bills today. Public hearing suspended indefinitely. New committee an aberration. You may want to find out who said that on the inside pages of the paper this morning. Blueprint has tax reform bills. Judiciary to the rescue as Senate holds action, meets presidential delegation. Reforms urgent to address struggles of Nigerians. That's according to Oyedele. The details continue on the inside pages. New Telegraph. Senate buckles. Suspends hearing on controversial tax reform bills. Resolves to hold wider consultations. Proposed reform will destroy public tertiary institutions. That's according to Kwasu, as ATAF says Nigeria, other nations lose $50 billion annually to tax evasion. The details on pages 2 and 3. The Daily Times newspaper. Senate bows to pressure, suspends further action on tax reform bills. Constitutes committee to meet presidential team today. This Nigerian newspaper has the same story at the bottom of the page, but its lead story this morning is bank customers groan over inability to withdraw cash at counters, seek punishment for erring banks on rights violation. CBN, FCCPC pledge to investigate, bring perpetrators to book. The details continue on the inside pages of the paper. The Guardian newspaper, Antimicrobial Awareness Week. Antibiotics abuse worsens drug resistance, claims 64,500 lives yearly. And you find graphics right there on the causes of antibiotic resistance. The details of that story you find on the inside pages of the paper. These are the papers we have for you this morning. I'd like to stay on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning, and I find something very shocking there. Beside the lead story, which is about antibiotic resistance, and that's, by the way, something that should worry us, because according to that data, 64,500 people died annually because the medications they are using are no longer effective. The bacteria has gotten used to it, and I always tell any friend who cares to listen, don't let your body build resistance by going through some of these things. Anyway, we'll talk to your medical counselor for that one. But there is another story right beside that graphics on the front page, and that is where the question of why NIN has not been effective in stemming kidnapping is right there. And the question you want to ask really is why? Now, the executive director of PIN explained that the enrollment never showed that government wanted to use it to tackle criminal activities, saying the manner of implementation was driven by something entirely different, largely by some other pecuniary gains. So, is this the truth? It's right there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Part of the ideal that was sold to Nigerians about the enrollment and the urgency of it at the time, and the discomfort that so many people had to go through, so many students had to go through to enroll for NIN, the National Identification Number. And we are hearing, part of what was sold to us was that it was going to stem kidnapping. That when you made a call, security agencies will get the number, will be able to track where they are and all those things, and then we'll be able to track whoever it is. And that question, Chamberlain and Kayla, you would remember, we have asked several times. They make calls to make demands for ransom. And here we are being told that it was not really intended for that. Well, let me believe that it is not true. And if it is not true, let the Minister of Interior and whoever else is involved in this process come out and tell Nigerians exactly what is happening here. Because if this was sold to us, that it will stem kidnapping and it will stem all kinds of criminal activity, and we are being told by some force that's right there on the front page of a major newspaper like Guardian newspaper, that it is not going to be effective because of whatever else, someone owes us some explanation. That's my take this morning.
I mean, it's a lot going on in the papers this morning. I think we're going to be talking about quite a lot of these conversations today. But just so we can give you two updates on some of the stories in the papers. Of course, we have been talking about the tax reform bills for some time now. The update that we have is that the Senate has suspended further legislative action. We're seeing that from quite a number of papers today, including the Vanguard, including Leadership newspaper. Quite a lot of papers are talking about that. The Tribune is also talking about it today. So that update on the tax reform bills will form the crux of our conversations in a bit. And of course, we hear that there's going to be a 10-man committee set up to liaise with the federal government. And they'll be meeting the Attorney General today. Of course, the Labour Party and the PDP are welcoming the Senate's decision. Meanwhile, the Senate's decision embodies the spirit of democratic governance, according to the CUPP. And, Mr. Oyedele is also speaking up, said they're trying to protect those now opposing reform. So quite a lot of things going on, and we're going to be reaching that conversation at some point during the day. And then the other update that we have is about this alleged defamation story. Remember yesterday, we did show you where Mr. Dele Farotimi was being taken away by, and the update from the Ado-Ekiti police command, where they say he is in their custody. Well, in their custody rather. The update is that the Ekiti court has remanded Mr. Farotimi, and I think he's going to be coming up that case. He's going to be there till the 10th of this month. So that's the update on that. And of course, we're hearing that many obedients and people who support him are threatening that they will be protesting the situation. But those are the two updates that I have for you this morning. Chamberlain, what are you looking at?
Okay, well, we'll go to break, but we'll now come back and then take you through this report happening about the tax bills, and then we'll see which one our guest will focus on, and we'll get your perspectives as well. So stay on with us.
To eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Change agents?
Hi.
Okay, I like the energy. Are you ready for the task ahead?
Always ready.
Okay.
This week means we have another task. It is supply side validation.
No matter how amazing your solution or you think your product is, if you're not able to take that value to customer, nobody will appreciate the value, and you won't make money as a business.
You mentioned an example of a quality control issue where the water touched the rice. So how are you now mitigating against those things with your supplying?
The judges have reviewed your supply side strategies, and now, will the following change agents please rise?